Finding peace comes down to two choices. You either forget the people you cannot forgive, or you forgive the people you cannot forget. It is a nice dot, but incredibly difficult to execute when your daily baseline feels less like a quiet pond and more like a tsunami. If we view our lives purely as an inescapable sequence of heavy burdens, we lose our peace of mind entirely and begin tearing apart the relationships that matter. Take an average office worker, just an ordinary guy trying to provide, who serves as a perfect case study for chronic daily stress. His reality is defined by an unmanageable workload, extreme pressure, and a manager who constantly breathes down his neck. Psychologists call what happens next stress bleed. When professional frustration goes unmanaged, it doesn't stay at the office. It comes home. He snaps at his wife, hangs up on his friends, and ignores his relatives. The frustration radiates outward. Then his young son asks for homework help. Instead of helping, the father explodes. Left alone with his anger, the father isolates himself. He sits in his house, entirely convinced that his life is falling apart. This reaction transforms minor, everyday frictions of life into events that actively destroy our closest bonds. Eventually, his anger burns out, and in the quiet that follows, the guilt sets in. He heads to his son's room to make amends, but he's too late. The boy has already fallen asleep at his desk, his open homework notebook resting right on top of his head. He reaches down to move the notebook so his son can sleep. In the stillness of the room, the noise of the office finally starts to fade, replaced by the weight of a single page of text. He glances down at the page. The title of the assignment is highly specific. Things that we don't like in the beginning, but we start liking them later on. The boy wrote out a few examples. First, final exams. We hate taking them, but we love the summer vacations they unlock. Second, medicine. It tastes awful going down, but we appreciate it when it brings us back to full health. Third, the alarm clock. It is incredibly annoying when it jolts us awake, but it proves we are alive to see a new day. Then the father reads the last entry. His son wrote that he hates being scolded by his dad, but he is profoundly grateful to have a father who provides him with food and toys, especially because his best friend doesn't have a dad at all. Those words hit the father like a physical blow. The sudden realization of what he has forces him to see his own behavior in a new light. He had been so focused on his own pressure that he failed to appreciate the very life his son was celebrating. He begins deliberately looking at his frustrations and turning them over to see the other side. Take financial stress. Paying the mortgage is agonizing, but the flip side is he actually owns a house. Look at his exhausting family demands. They mean he has a support system, never walking alone. And that crushing work pressure, it means he has a steady livelihood, while millions are desperate for work. Notice that his external circumstances did not change. The mortgage is still due, the boss is still demanding, and the family still needs him. Only the lens through which he views them has shifted. True positivity isn't some passive state where nothing goes wrong. It is the active ability to recognize that your daily burdens are often your greatest privileges. Positivity is a mental discipline requiring constant effort to filter the noise of daily obligations. It comes down to a daily practice of expanding your circle of life. You build mental resilience by actively seeking out the happiness in the things that are already right in front of you. By seeing the value in what we carry, those burdens stop being weights. They become the foundation for everything we want to achieve.